Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to work on a model kit and also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. And if you feel like being a lurker, let's go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. It is a Monday. And I have a model kit to start. We're going to begin the Gundam Dantalion, which is from Gecko, which is a manga in the Iron-Blooded Orphans universe. I have not read said manga. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. I haven't read the manga. I only know of this as a kit that came out in like 2018, 2017, something like that. It's the one with the big arms. And the best part about this kit is because it's from a manga, people only really know it, Western at least, most people only really know it from the photo of the model kit, and they don't realize that those arms are not like it. Those arms are the backpack, and most of the time it has like regular like arms for that type of Gundam from an Iron-Blooded Orphans, like demonic inspired body type. And then the backpack, which this kit comes with a stand specifically to keep the kit from falling over because the backpack's so big. The backpack like comes around and becomes arms, and that's good and dumb. It's very good and very dumb. I'm a big fan. You know what? I'm feeling a little red here. I'm gonna quickly do one thing here before we get deep into the build in here. Turn that off, and then turn on auto exposure. Is that better? Not really. I'm still feeling pretty red here. And let's see if there's something else I can do to try to turn that. You know what? Let's do white balance off and then turn white balance on. Auto white balance. Yeah, that's way better. Okay. It's not perfect, but it's better. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's begin the streaming time and work on this new model kit. Let's go over to the main feed over here. There we go, the main feed. Little crud to clean up there, and we'll do that. Let's see. So yeah, this kit is going to, the first several steps of this kit are going to seem, I actually want to check, I want to look at this box here. 2017 is when this came out. Okay. Yeah. The first bunch of steps in this kit are going to be very similar to all other Iron-Blooded Orphans kits. The Gundams from that show are all fairly similar in their construction, especially in the high grade, because it honestly is a fucking brilliant idea. Years ago, before the setting of the anime begins, there was a war, and there were 72 Gundams for each name of the Book of the Dead. And a bunch of them were either destroyed or missing. And so that means that you can just have a bunch of Gundams out there, and they can be whatever the fuck you want, because like for the manga or for the mobile game that, if I remember correctly, never came out. There was they made 2 Gundams for the mobile game, and I'm pretty sure that mobile game never actually got released, or if it did, it was very limited in its release. But you can just do that because whatever. And then the base of the kit are all similar because all the Gundams are fairly similar in design of the frame, and then they're just customized later. So you can just kind of get weird with it, which is cool. I like that a lot. So you can do a Gundam that is just a regular Gundam that has like a gun and a sword, and that has big arms on the backpack that fold around, and then it's just got a big ass dumb backpack. That's just good. It's just good design. Good silly design that I can get on board with. I have a couple model kits in the mail coming to me. I also beyond the one kit come to me from that I ordered from Temu, that I don't know when that'll arrive. At some point. No, I have one model kit in the mail and a piece of gear. I bought a piece of gear that was inexpensive that I want to test out because I've heard very good things about it. So I want to try that out. So we'll see how that goes. When it arrives, we'll try it out. It should be here this week. So Saturday stream, because reminder, I'm not streaming on Thursday. Thursday is the Game Awards, and I won't be here for that. I might hang out with Jeff Gerstmann while Jeff watches, but I have not made that decision if I'm going to do that or not. I might, but honestly, I probably won't. But Jeff is going to live stream the Game Awards, and which is, you know, fine. He can do that. And you're saying to yourself, Pat, you don't have to co-stream. You could just not, you know, be an alternative. To which I say, well, 2 years ago, I said, oh, I'll do that. I'll be the alternative. And then did not have a viewership numbers of any kind. So I was like, well, actually, forget that then. So I'll just take Thursday off and it'll be fine. But I'll be back on Saturday, of course. Of course. We'll be back on Saturday for conversation and good times and good vibes and all that. I want to check something real quick. Hold on. It's going to be this show. Yeah, let me just see. That's out this week. Yes, okay. All right, so we got to snip this together here. We did that. This is the front. This is the back. Pretty easy to tell apart. Not the easiest, but pretty easy. A little light on attendance tonight, which is okay. Not the end of the world, but a little light so far. Maybe more people will decide to join us later. So I talked about how I'm not going to be streaming on the Game Awards. I am streaming tomorrow, and I hope you'll come out for that. It is a game. I guess I can say what it is. I got a code for a game that is releasing tomorrow. And the name of that video game is Keep the Heroes Out. It is based on a tabletop game. I guess I had a Kickstarter. Keep the Heroes Out. I received a code for it. We'll be checking that out on stream tomorrow night, the single player version. But the idea is that you're building a dungeon so the heroes can't get through and do their business. Okay, then we got to turn it apart and put on the back part here. Making sure this is the right one. This is a little hard to see, you know, which direction I'm pointing at, but eventually I can use context clues. Like, yeah, okay, so this is the back of the kit. A21. A lot of this, like I said, is going to be pretty easy to kind of discern because it's going to look like a lot of the inner workings of these kits look similar, so it should be pretty easy to pick up. But yeah, I'm not going to be there for the Game Awards, but I am going to be streaming tomorrow night, checking out a video game adaptation of a tabletop game. Again, code was sent out to me, and it is not a sponsored stream, but I always like to make that abundantly clear. Okay, so that's going to go like that. So we get a little movement here with our kit. Whoops, that went too much movement. A thing that I forget constantly with these kits that is important to remember for these IBO kits is that it is demonic in nature, not humanoid in nature. So whereas a lot of Gundams are like, you know, the arms and legs and head and all that, and like they move, obviously not exactly like a human, but they move more like a human would. Whereas by their nature, these are like demonic. So they're like demons, so they have claws for hands and they're hunched over. And that is a thing that I have to always remember when I'm building one of these kits, because I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's going to go the other way. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no. If I remember that this, like the waist of this kit is allowing it to like be hunched over, then it makes total sense why that looks like that. So I need D4, which is D14 is, why are these weird like this? Oh, there it is. Okay. D14. speaking of award shows, there was a funny thing happened at the Streamer Awards, which were on Twitch apparently. Hey, Lord Crashington. I did not watch the Streamer Awards. That is not a thing that particularly interests me. So I did not check it out. You may hear wind of a controversy here or there. There were some people upset that Peanut won for best VTuber, considering that Peanut may or may not consider himself to be a VTuber, depending on if you believe that he is joking or not. It simply seems that like this is a dude that has an ongoing bit where he's a P-tuber, not a VTuber. And some people think that's not a bit, that's his true feelings. And some people are like, no, he's joking. And then people would be like, well, it has to be funny for it to be a joke. And that's not true. It's not, that is a separate thing, but I do want to stress this. It is an important thing to recognize. It sounds counterintuitive. It sounds weird. But here's the deal. You laughing is not a requirement for a joke to be a joke. A good joke, a successful joke, a joke you like, yeah, you're going to want to laugh at that. But the intention of is this or is this not a joke is nothing to do with you, the audience, and 100% has to do with the person making the thing. So if Peanut thinks that he is joking, and he is actually a VTuber, then it works fine. And if it's not a joke, then that's a separate thing. But people were just like, well, if it's not funny, it's not funny, so it's not a joke. And those are people who are, and to a certain extent, understandably, mad that people disrespect VTubers so much. You know, the folks that were downplaying the accomplishments of Iron Mouse when she was, for a time, the most subbed streamer on Twitch. The people that were saying that like content creator of the year, that it's ridiculous to have a VTuber in content creator of the year or have one win, in that case also Iron Mouse for the Game Awards. The people that blew it up. The fact that Twitch is so much more likely to block a quote-unquote sexy VTuber than they are to block a quote-unquote sexy human being. All those things lead to a sense within some people that the world is against them. And so the idea that somebody jokes about not actually being a VTuber who wins the VTuber either category rubs some people the wrong way. And then there are the reactionary people that are just like, well, VTubers congratulated him. What do you want? If Maury Calliope's out there saying congratulations to the winner of the category, then like, what do you care? Lord Crashton says, Mike Minotti's brisket joke is funny because the joke is too long to work. Yes. Ben Wheeler has a joke about a horse, and the bit of the joke is that the joke is too long, and you never get to the part about the horse. That is a joke within a joke, but at the end of the day, you can say, that structure doesn't work for me, I don't like the idea of it, or the presentation of it. But to say, that's not a joke, is a thing that I strongly, unbelievably dislike. I dislike when people are like, oh, that's not a joke. It's like, well, no, it's, and if you don't find a thing funny, then that's fine. Because not every joke is meant to work for every single person out there. It's like kind of a big thing. But that's a separate thing. Speaking of jokes, an accident happened at the Streamer Awards. I'm not saying that the accident is that it happened. But there was a thing that happened where, so they were, they're trying to run like a real award show, right? Even if it is just 3 hours of, honestly, in my opinion, 3 hours of people who have a lot of money and are too young for that kind of money beefing with each other publicly. Like, Is it a real award show, or is it clown shoes to have multiple people talk about how someone else should have won an award? Not saying, oh, I shouldn't have won this, someone else should. Being like, I want to talk about how this person didn't win this award. And it's like, okay, come on, this is clown shoes. But there was a production error, which was, in my opinion, pretty fucking funny. So they are doing the nominees for Best Content Organization. And they're like, Phase, whatever. And there's the Phase Boys. And they're like, this other thing. Here are some people there. And then they cut to a still photo of a guy who is not there, but is nominated for an award. He's not nominated for Best Content Organization. And the person who is doing the announcing of the nominees realizes immediately that there has been a technical snafu, and an image was put up because, like I said, the other content people were there in person. So it was just camera cut, insert photo, because we don't have that person in person there. So they just put up a photo of a person, and then the chyron came up of the lower third underneath their name, and it just said HoloLive, because HoloLive was the next thing to be nominated for Best Content Content Organization or whatever. And it was very fucking funny. If I remember correctly, it was a person. So it was just like a dude. And so people who know are laughing, and they're like, oh, cool, it's John HoloLive, which is a bit of it's not an inside joke. It is just a reference. And then there was also a bunch of people that were just like, what happened to Yago, who is the owner of HoloLive? Is this our new boss for the American branch? Just like a bunch of folks being like, is this my new boss? Who is this? Who is this man? What is this? It was a good bit of business. His name is Brox, with an H at the end, BROXH. And he is apparently a woodworker. He was, like I said, being nominated for a category. He does woodworking and seems, I don't know anything about him. Once again, folks, a reminder, when I talk about people in the content creation field that I don't know, please don't get mad if I'm like, oh, that guy seems all right. And it turns out he is not all right. I don't know. I am going to put this photo in the chat because I don't know if you saw it, but it makes me laugh so fucking much. Let me get these, I need B4. Oh, I need B4 out. B4 is going to be our first sticker, so I got to put a sticker on B4. So let me get B4 out, and then we'll put a sticker on there. But let me see if I can copy this photo. Can I copy this photo and then paste it? No, can't do that. So I have to save the photo. There's got to be a better way. I just don't know what that way is. All right, open the photo, save the photo, have my computer find a drive for it to go on, have it be an external drive that my computer is mad about, save it to my desktop, go in here, add an image. Again, there's probably a better way. I just don't know what it is. Browse, find the photo over here, add the photo, and then here we can look at it. Great. So the announcer, the person that was reading the nominees, went like HoloLive because they were laughing as they were saying the name. And it was a good bit of business. I've only watched the clip. Again, I didn't watch this fucking award show. I don't know shit for shit. But I do know that's Brox, aka John HoloLive. And I want to see if he had something to say about this. Oh, yes. His tweet was, I am HoloLive. And he wrote it as 2 words, which is a good bit of business. Writing holo and live as 2 words and getting it wrong is good. That's good shit. So, yeah. That's, there's John HoloLive doing his thing. Also, Some of the woodworking looks pretty fucking rad. I don't know. It's kind of cool. He was up for Hidden Gem Award. And I believe a grandma won that award. I believe that I Just Love Puzzles, who is an older lady, not a character, is an actual older lady, a grandma, who streams doing puzzle construction. And that does sound like a hidden gem. I like that. I like knowing that exists out there. That's nice. All right, let's do our first sticker, which is sticker 5. Far less stickers than our previous endeavors here. Our last model kit, I should say, at least. So that's nice. Nice to have that. But yeah, that's all I know about from the streamer awards. The VTuber awards are later. On the subject of the Proto Men, have you listened to Act 3 yet? I am indeed wearing my Proto Men shirt. This is one of the oldest shirts I own. I can't believe it hasn't fallen apart. I've had this shirt for like over 10 years, I want to say. And I can't believe that it's still in rotation. I have not listened to Act 3 yet, no. There was a listening party for it, but I was busy during that listening party, and I have not listened to the album yet. But I do want to. I will. I do like. I mean, I very much enjoy the stylings of the Proto Men, and I'm excited to. It's one of those fucking weird ass things where you're like, I mean, look, obviously not every member of the band is still there, but collectively there are a lot of people in that group that have been doing this for a long time, and then time changes a person. It's very interesting to have something like this span so many years and so many different feelings and vibes. One thing that was kind of fun is a bunch of people from the original incarnation of the band, some of whom I think have left at this point, all grew up in the same hometown as a friend of mine. And then when, this is now 10 years ago, when some new folks joined the band, 2 of the folks that joined the band were from the hometown and knew another friend of mine. And so at like one point there was just like multiple people in that band that I knew, that I knew someone who knew them. And it was a weird little bit of business. I had like a brief interaction with them. My introduction to the Proto Men was not Act 1. It was not, which you think it might be. I did not know who they were. I had not heard of them. We're done with the chest, by the way. We'll panel line this. This piece kind of just floats around here. I think this comes up for something, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, I was not aware of the Proto Men. I had not heard of them. I was literally just walking around PAX East. Looking for things to do. I don't remember which PAX East. It was an early one. I believe it was the second PAX East, so that was at the convention center they've been in ever since. Not the very first year, which was bad. The second year, PAX East. I'm walking around, just kind of seeing what's up, and I hear music. And I was aware of the concept of the room where you could just pick up instruments and play. You could sign up to play songs and hang out, and they had some interest there. And that bands who were doing Bandland and who were doing concerts would book time to kind of promote themselves. But I'm walking by and a door opens as I get near this music, and I just hear this guy singing Total Eclipse of the Heart. And I'm like, that's weird. And I peek in, and it's a bunch of people in cool makeup and with like armor stuff. And I'm like, what is this? And it was just like, and then they're like, hey, come, we're the Proto Men, come check us out. This is we just did our encore here, but we'll have more instruments in the band and effects. And I was just like, their encore is Total Eclipse of the Heart? Like, all right, I'm going to learn everything about the Proto Men. And so I went and saw them in concert that weekend. And I bought this shirt from them in Bandland. So it was many years ago, because I was like, oh, this rules. This is exactly what I wanted to see. And I had been chasing that high ever since in PAX for PAX East and Unplugged, and Unplugged doesn't have that room, but West, Prime/West, of just like stumbling upon a band in that room. So I used to go by every now and again. One time I did go to the music room, and the Double Clips were playing, but I knew they were playing, and I went specifically to go hang out with Laser. Because Laser was doing my panel, so I wanted to go hang out with Laser and be like, hey, remember me in person? Here's me. We've met in person before, but mostly we've talked online. Here is me. That is my standard thing when I have reached out to people that only know me from the internet or only met me at like a convention and don't really remember. Is that I will always be like, hi. We follow each other on the internet, or we talked. Hey, this is me. I always try to do that, which is how the very first time I was able to say hello to Zoe Quinn was at the cat petting thing that Exploding Kittens did at PAX West, the cat adoption thing. We were in the same group, weirdly. And so I just went up and said, hey, we follow each other on Twitter. Because, like, I'm me walking up. I can see that she is, like, with somebody. And Zoe is clearly like, is this going to be fucking annoying? And I was just like, hey, I'm Pat. We follow each other on Twitter, which we did. That was true. And she was like, oh, hi. I was like, yeah, my icon is a cartoon version of me, which is also true. And she was like, oh, hi. And so we talked a little bit, whatever, mutuals and all that. And then I was like, hey, we're doing a wrestling thing. If you ever want to do it, let me know. And then like 4 years later, she did it. But I didn't book her. It was like booked through people. They were like, hey, we want Zoe. Zoe wants to do it, but doesn't want to play any of the video games. Can we figure that out? And I was like, yeah, sure. She ended up having to play a video game, but whatever. We made it work. But that was very funny to me because I was just like, I gotta go up and say hi, but I'll open with we follow each other or whatever. You might know me from the internet. And the answer was she did remember. She did go, oh, hey. And I don't think she was just being nice. I do think she actually genuinely remembered me because we do follow each other, or we did on Twitter. I actually don't know if she follows me back on Blue Sky. If she doesn't, it's okay. It's all right if she doesn't follow me back. She does. She follows me on Blue Sky. That's nice. Lashbrook says, my apologies. I've seen clips from PAX performances, but their music didn't really click with me until I pirated their stuff and listened in album format front to back. So I would say, yeah, the acts, those things do work they make concept albums, and I think their concept albums do work. I also think they're very fun live. I think they're a good time. I've seen the Proto Men now 3 or 4 times. I did see them in Boston one year after PAX East. They did like a Monday concert with the mid bosses, and I was still in town, so I went and saw that and took the train home that night because I had like a meeting in Boston on that Monday. That was a bad meeting, and I shouldn't have spent the money to stay in a hotel for one more night to have that bad meeting. But then I did get to go to a fun concert. And then take a very late train back to New York that year. We're working on the head because the chest is done. It's looking pretty cool. Getting that going. A couple more things here we can talk about today. There's not a lot of news today. It was a slow news day for gaming. I think there's not going to be a lot because there will be a bunch of reveals on Thursday. So on Saturday, we'll have a bunch of stuff to talk about. As things games get revealed, and also, shenanigans happen at the Gaming Awards. So I think this might be a little bit of a low profile week as far as news go, which is not the worst thing in the world. B18, this is a very tiny piece. We'll try to get out here. But there are some things, an update from a previous story. Kickstarter, there is a union at Kickstarter. And they had been on strike for 42 days, and that strike ended, but it wasn't really revealed what they had won in that strike. It wasn't really super talked about much. So there is more information about that. They have a 4-day work week, improved pay equity by establishing a salary floor with a bonus for our most undervalued workers, and safeguards against generative AI. And so their website about the union website says Kickstarter cannot replace a role with AI, and management must work with employees if AI changes a role. And their new contract includes strong protections against replacing full-time employees with contractors, as well as promises for more input from employees with a regular forum for business operations. You may remember that, again, this is a 42-day strike. You may remember that Kickstarter years ago fired some people who they said was for gross incompetence, but just so coincidentally, all had been people who've been working towards unionization efforts within Kickstarter. This has been a long fucking road. I don't believe I have anybody that I know still at Kickstarter. I certainly had many friends there over the years. I believe I don't have anyone still there. They've all moved on. And that also is saying something, that so many people that had worked there no longer work there. Obviously, people come and go, but that's a specialty field. And part of it is that, like, if you work day to day at Kickstarter, you have to commute. You have to live in Brooklyn or commute to Brooklyn. And that's, like, not an easy thing for a lot of people to do. So being able to get some wage protections and also job protections is huge. So congratulations to them. Again, this is a story that the strike had ended last month, but now we're starting to get more information about what the deal is. So good on them. They've been negotiating a contract since April. And then their previous one expired in July, and then they went on strike in October. And one of the reasons why you might not have heard about the strike, because I know some people didn't know it was happening this fall, is because they were not asking for a boycott. They were not asking for people to not put up their own things or they told users to continue to crowdfund projects during their absence. And then there were some people that were like, hey, if you want to keep doing your fucking thing, you can do your fucking thing. We're just on strike. And so that probably diminished the news because there wasn't a lot of chatter on the internet of people mad that that people were telling them, hey, don't put up a Kickstarter right now. I mean, I would also say, hey, maybe don't do a Kickstarter, but that's a separate thing. All right. Tiny eyes have been applied. I'm going to use my toothpick here to kind of hold this down. If you're wondering, folks, my back is doing better. On Saturday, I was in a lot of pain. I'd taken some pain pills to help with that, but I was in a bit of pain here coming into the stream on Saturday from setting up a Christmas tree and doing all that. Yesterday and today, I did work on the outside of our house, doing some outside decorations, which I think turned out pretty good. And that was less of a strain on the body. It was mostly just fucking cold out there. It's like goddamn cold. All right, so let's see. I need 16 and 17 here. We'll get those going. Other news. Crunchyroll is in the news today. December 31st is the last day that you will be able to watch ad-supported free content on Crunchyroll. And I know what you're saying. Wait, didn't that end a long time ago? And the answer is sort of. This is a continuation of a thing they started in 2022. So, before they made the decision in 2022, before March of 2022, because I'm looking up this information here. It used to be that you could watch any show on Crunchyroll that was new, like a new seasonal show. You could just watch it a week late, like an episode a week later with ads. And it was ad supported and you could watch it later. So like, if you really wanted to be up to date, you had to pay out. And then there were some shows that you could watch with ads and some that you couldn't watch with ads, like some movies and stuff. But for the most part, you just be a week late. And then starting in March 2022, they were like, hey, this next new season, you can't. If you want to watch shows from this next season, you have to subscribe. You can't watch it for free a week later with ads. But all our old content where this used to exist would still work. So like, if a show came out that year, you couldn't do it. But if a show had come out in 2019, you could watch those with ads and it would be fine. They started to dwindle that, and now they are finally cutting that out. There are some exceptions to the rule, but for the most part, there are still some ad supported, but it's only certain titles, not all old titles like legacy content. So if you want to watch a lot of it is like the first season of some shows. Like if you want to watch the first season of Chainsaw Man or Demon Slayer or Mobile Suit Gundam, Witcher Mercury, you can do that. But like, you can only watch the first season of Campfire Cooking in Another World, My Absurd Skill, but you can't watch the second season. So this is just kind of codifying their points. It is, one might argue, hey, it's kind of surprising that it lasted this long or at all. Part of the reason why they did that was they were in competition with Funimation, who did not have an ad tier supported, or they only had subscription. So it was like in the fight. And once they won the fight, they don't have to worry about that. Or once they were winning the fight, they don't really have to worry about that. This also does not include the ad-supported TV, quote-unquote, TV channels that are on places like Samsung TV has a channel, the YouTube Premium channels, the Game Show Network has Amazon Freevee has a thing. There's a Roku channel. Those are all ad supported and they're free. That's a different thing from this. This is like, use the app or go on the website and you want to watch some anime, you're gonna have to pay. And again, there are some that will be included in this. But like I said, most of the reason why I wanted to bring it up is just because this felt like a thing they were going to do, as they have no real competition. They do not have to get you to, like, they won. They already won. You know, they're not in a position where they need to win new viewers over. They won the war. Because, like, eventually Netflix might have a competitive amount of anime, but probably not. Somebody eventually is going to buy High Dive from AMC and then have a catalog of that before it all expires because they realize, oh, wait, actually, it's costly to keep all this, to keep the lights on and all this, and keep it going, and keep licensing up and all that. But, you know, maybe. More likely someone buys AMC, right? Well, here's the thing, right? Someone could buy AMC who already has some anime and just take the High Dive catalog and add it to their service. Therefore, growing that out and putting some money in for that. Therefore, becoming somewhat of a competitor to Crunchyroll. But it is pretty unlikely that anyone is going to be as big as, and when I say Crunchyroll, I always have to stress this. When I talk about Crunchyroll, what I mean is Sony's Crunchyroll Funimation brand. Sony of America and Aniplex's Crunchyroll. which of course is owned by Sony. As a joint effort between Sony of America and Aniplex in Japan, but also owned by. But of course, both of those are owned by Sony, so it's all the same shit. Fortunately or unfortunately. We want to talk about mergers that shouldn't have happened. That's a big one. The Funimation Crunchyroll merger was bad for everyone except for Sony. Seemingly Sony did pretty good on that deal, but everybody else did way fucking worse. And I think a big reason that a lot of people thought it would be okay, because they thought that Funimation, that they were going to stick with the Funimation name and they weren't going to lose all the shit they had bought. Ugh. Turned out bad. All right, I got to put this piece on here. Let's see. Any other news? Oh yeah, a little bit of news. Katsuhiro Harada is leaving Bandai Namco. He has been with the company for 31 years. Harada, who you may know from Tekken or for being a guy who posts on the fucking internet a lot, for being a goddamn poster, because that is a reason to know of him. He is leaving Bandai Namco. He said the end of 2025 we'll see him leave the company. With Tekken reaching its 30th anniversary last year, right now felt like the most fitting moment, is what he says. Which, yeah, that checks out. That's a reasonable thing to say. It's like, yeah, all right. I've been doing this a long time. This is the time. My time is now. And he talked a lot about promoting Tekken players in Japanese arcades. Talked about some personal stuff that he'd gone through over the years. In recent years, I experienced the loss of several close friends in my personal life, and in my professional life, I witnessed the retirement or passing of many senior colleagues whom I deeply respect. Those accumulated events made me reflect on the time I have left as a creator. During that period, I sought advice from Ken Kutaragi, who I respect as though he were another father, and received invaluable encouragement and guidance. When you put it that way, when you look at it as that, of like, wow, yeah, a lot of creators, some of those creators were his contemporaries, and some of them were younger than him, have passed away, because that era of Japanese game developer is the fucking hard life. It makes total sense to be like, what if I didn't work at Namco anymore? Get a bit of a different schedule. So I understand, and it's cool. Over the past 4 to 5 years, I've gradually handed over all my responsibilities as well as the stories and world building I oversaw to the team, bringing me to the present day. He'll still be attending the Tekken World Tour Finals in January as a guest. And also he dropped an hour-long mix called Tekken, a 30-year journey, Harada's final mix on SoundCloud. Because he is still that guy. He is still about that life. He is still that guy, and we still respect Harada. Am I the biggest Tekken guy? No, but I still fucking respect him to death. Yes, Itagaki was one of his best buds. Yes. Yeah. Yes, Lashbrook, we can no longer ask Harada for shit. Yes. One thing that's really funny is because people are just like, oh yeah, like he, he'd been at Namco since like a year before Tekken, right? So like he must have been working on Tekken the entire time. It's like, well, he only worked on, he started with Tekken 3. He is in the first 2 Tekken games as a voice actor. He did voices while at Namco. For Bandai Namco, for Tekken 1 and 2, and then eventually they were like, oh yeah, he should probably be directing this game. he should be directing this franchise. So then he stepped in for that. But he has been a part of the first two. He worked on Soul Calibur and Pokken Tournament. And in 2019, he became the head of the company's fighting game esports division and promoted to general manager. So they were moving him up into more of a like, hey, well, what if you're not like leading, directing on these games, but you're still like around? And then eventually he made the call now, it looks like, to take off. But yeah, we don't have to ask for him for shit anymore. This last story, I could have talked about this on Saturday, but I waited for today because there was a lot going on with this. Splitgate 2. You may remember Splitgate as the Halo, but there's portals shooter that people were like, hey, this shit fucking rules. This is really fun. Was it the biggest game in the world? No. But it had a dedicated fan base and people were really into it and it did really well. And then the devs were like, let's make Splitgate 2. And let's take everything people liked about Splitgate and not put it in 2. And have a lot of microtransactions and have it be kind of fucking not great. And then also, let's get our somebody high up in the company to go and do a bit on Summer Game Fest, which may or may not be a bit, but definitely pissed everybody the fuck off. And then they were like, okay, we're going back into beta. We hear you. We're going to take the game. We're going to pull the game back, go back into beta, and figure this shit out. Because apparently the idea of just doing more Splitgate wasn't the right call for them. So they're like, all right, we're going to go back to the drawing board and figure this shit out. So they did go back to the drawing board. And now they're like, oh, also when I say it went back into beta, that was a month after the game came out. It was only out for a month. And they were like, now it's back, folks, or it's coming back. And it's called Splitgate Arena Reloaded. And it's being built from the ground up. Again, it's December. They went back to beta in July. Also, it's not Splitgate 2 anymore, as you may have heard. It's Splitgate Arena Reloaded, which sounds like a remake of 1. So they had a video on this is 1047 Games had a video on their on their YouTube channel. They described the game as a tribute to classic arena shooters like Unreal, Quake, and of course Halo. To that end, Splitgate has ejected factions and unique abilities to lock into that old school arena style gameplay just with portals. The full experience is expected to launch for free on December 17th. Gotta change the name so all the bad press doesn't show up when you Google it. Yes, so now if you Google, if you're like, hey, what's going on? If you are still looking up Splitgate 2, you'll find all those stories. But if you're like, oh, what's Splitgate Arena Reloaded? Oh, yeah. So, this is from the Kotaku article. And I love that they go, Splitgate managed to really step in it this summer after director Ian Prolix took to the Summer Game Fest stage in 2025 to deliver an obtuse rant about the state of modern shooters, all while sporting a Make FPS Great Again hat. As if that wasn't enough, Splitgate 2 featured many uncomfortable trappings of modern shooters, aggressive microtransactions, and costly cosmetic bundles. And for a game that promised to return to a classic style of shooter gameplay, the inclusion of a battle royale mode was odd. So, as you may remember, part of it wasn't just the fucking hat about make FPS games great again. It was also that they were talking a lot of shit about the things they didn't like in modern shooters, while also having that shit in their fucking game. And then also people weren't psyched about the game who had liked the game previously. We're working on the right arm. We're moving on this kit, which is fine because the backpack's going to take fucking forever. And they put it in beta. Yeah. So it's coming out December 17th. So you know, if you listen to, some podcasts and stuff, you probably won't hear a lot about it as people are gearing up for Game of the Year. My guess is that Splitgate is going to get buried. There will be people fucking playing it because it's free and people will want to know what's up. So I imagine if you follow any streamers who like shooters and play shooters, you might see some people checking that out to see what the fuck is up. So I think that if that's something you're looking for, yeah, you should keep your eyes peeled because I feel like some streamers are going to play it, but as far as like your podcast peoples, they're probably going to worry about Game of the Year stuff because that they got a lot on their plate. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see some people. Maybe we'll see some people playing it, but I don't know. Let's see. Do I need any stickers for a little while here? No. Looks like these arms don't have any stickers, which is rad. That's great news for me, your friend Pat. Anyway, that seems fucked. All that shit fucking sucked. But yeah, now Splitgate 2 will not be like out this fall, out this December. It's broken containment. After the pause for the cause, which is the next thing coming up after we're going to keep working on this, and we'll take a pause for the cause. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel and all that stuff. And when that's, and then we're going to talk about some manga that I have been reading, and then talk about an anime episode that I have been perusing. Let's see. On Saturday, I will talk about the shows I normally talk about on Thursday because I'm taking this Thursday off, and then one of the Saturday shows, and I'll talk about the other Saturday show on the following Monday. We'll just do it like that as we start to gear up for the end of the year. Get in all that, which is weird to say out loud. All right, got that going. It's looking pretty good. So I did a poll for my $10 patrons about what kit I should build next. Now, normally, a peek behind the curtain, I put up 3 options. Generally, at least one of those is a brick kit, Lego or something or other. Usually I'll do that. Pretty recently, I actually put up 3 brick kits because I was just in the mood to do some brick building. But usually I put 3 things up. In this case, I just put 2 things up because they were the kits. This kit and another kit, the Ultron Gundam, were kits that I had bought from USA Gundam Store, and they were in a package. I've talked about this on stream. They were in a package that came from Florida and went to South Carolina and then went to St. Paul and then sat in St. Paul for a very long time, and then eventually St. Paul, Minnesota, and then eventually ended up in Tennessee and then ended up in South Carolina and got delivered to me. And so I was like, I just want to build one of these 2 kits because I've been waiting and I didn't know if I'd actually get them or if I would have to get a deal with fucking the post office and then deal with trying to talk to see, I need 824 and then 825. Wait, that's wrong. Oh, it's 826. I was looking at that wrong. All that stuff. So I got them and I'm like, hey, I just want to build one of these 2. Now, I understand that this is a big punch, friend, and that's probably why it got picked, but I was surprised that the Ultron Gundam didn't get picked. That is the second of 3 Gundam variants that is piloted, and it's the Shenlong, Ultron, Nanaku. And so I was surprised that this won, but then I looked at it and went, well, It is a kit with giant arms, and that's pretty fucking great. So we're building the regular arms right now, and then we'll add the super arms later. The super arms are the last things we'll build. I mean, I guess we could skip and just build the backpack, but if we don't have the base of the kit, it doesn't quite make sense to have the backpack. We need A34. Sorry, I have silhouette stuck in my head. It is a theme, one of the many themes to Naruto. It has had a bit of a meme of the song playing and people doing a dance, which includes some of the ninjutsu symbols from the show, some of the ninja magic from the show. And so that song has been stuck in my head because of TikTok and Instagram stuff. No, don't worry about it. Oh, was I supposed to put this on this? Yes, I was. This goes. We'll get the arm together and then we'll do we'll panel line it. Goes like this. And it goes like this. There we go. But we'll panel line this. I like this layered look. I think this layered look is neat, of the gray and the white kind of interlocking. That's nice looking. All right, moving on. Actually, instead of moving on, let's take a pause for the cause. This is, if you're the first time here, this is your my opportunity to talk to you about ways that you can support the channel and what I do here. Everything I'm about to tell you is optional. You're under no obligation to do any of these things, but if you would like to, I would love that. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber to the Build with Bear workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote, if you're a Tier 2 subscriber, into the chat. Being a subscriber, easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you wanted to become a subscriber, you could do it with Cash Money. Hey, John's here. Or you could use your Prime Gaming token, Cash Money. If you want to gift a sub, you could do that. Bits and coins, always appreciated. Those are two ways to support what I do here. If you would like to do that, then no pressure. But if you wanted to, you could. It'd be cool. There are other ways to support me financially, as I mentioned there. So we'll talk about that real quick. You could, of course, join my Patreon at the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier. There are different rewards to different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. If you're in the $3, $5, or $10 tier, you can vote on what I play tomorrow. Right now, it looks like it will be the video game Keep the Heroes Out, which is coming out on Steam tomorrow. So that'll be the first thing I check out, or me playing that for the first time on stream tomorrow. That game was, I received a code for that. I should make that very clear. Not sponsored, received a code though. But that's because my patrons voted for me to do that. So, you can always vote on those things. Check out the Patreon. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube channel, you can, of course, subscribe for free, and it would be great if you wanted to jump over there, watch a video or two. You could do that. While you're there, though, you could consider becoming a member. And for just $2 a month, you can join an exclusive club. And you will get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So tomorrow, you will get a video that other people have to wait until Wednesday to see. So you can do that. I'm sorry, I'm just checking my AdSense. Yep, did not update. My November AdSense has not, what I made in November has not updated yet. I'm so close to getting a payout. When I hit $100 of AdSense money, then I can then request that, and it'll take like way too long to process, but eventually I will get money, and then via PayPal, and then I will be able to purchase stuff from YouTube or with that money, buy model kits. I believe I'm going to look this up. I'm going to look this up right now because it will tell me the last time that I got a payout. The last time that AdSense paid me out was March 21st, 2024, which means that about 15 days before that, so the beginning of March 2024, I earned $100, and it's only been, like about 2 years, give or take. That's pretty good, because I believe before that it was a long time before that. I don't remember the last one before that, but it was a long time. So getting a payout for me takes a while. I think YouTube Shorts has helped out a lot on that. So I'm getting close to that payout. Anyway, those are all monthly ways to support me. You could throw $1 or $2 in the tip jar if you'd like, to my Ko-Fi or my PayPal. And everything that goes in there, that I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, like I said, so watching my videos helps me out, because I'll use that money to buy model kits, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and out of that fund, I pull money out to buy stuff to build on stream. This kit, I was able to get this as a Black Friday deal, but I was still able to pick it up because of your generosity. So past you is helping out present me. If you want to help out future me, consider joining me on, as a subscriber here or Patreon or whatever. Now, it's almost Christmas, if you can believe it. If there's any indication, it's almost Christmas. And a thing that's going to happen there is the gift of giving gifts. If you would like to buy something for me to build on stream, you could do that. And it would jump the queue and become the next thing I built. I've got model kits and Lego sets. I have inexpensive kits. I've got very expensive kits. Kits that are on sale, kits that never go on sale. I will give you a couple ideas of some of those. Let's see. I have, right now, if you wanted to, let's see. No, I want to do price low to high. Here is you could buy, for me to build, Animal Crossing Julian's Birthday Party Lego set. That is a small little Lego set with some characters from Animal Crossing, and I would build that. And it would jump the queue and become the next thing I build, get a dedicated YouTube video about the thing. And then if I go high to low and talk about an expensive model kit, if you wanted me to build the Master Grade 1/100 Tall Geese Fugal from Endless Waltz, which is a tall geese, the tall geese from Endless Waltz with the wings of the Wing Gundam from Endless Waltz, the feather wings, that's $140. Don't buy that, but it's on there. But don't buy that. The second most expensive is the Psycho Gundam Mach 2 high grade. And you're like, Pat, how the fuck is a high grade $127.78? Well, because it's huge. Because that kit is, that 144 scale is still an enormously big kit. It's just very large because of the scale of that kit. There's also, there's a bunch of other things here that are all incredibly expensive. Like if you want to give me the Gundam Aerial Master Grade, the MGSD, you could do that. You could do that. There's a bunch of things in there you could do. Got a lot of kits that are very pricey. With what's going on in the world. If you want to buy me something to build and you don't want to go through Amazon, you could see if there's something on my Throne wish list that piques your interest. And then, of course, if you want to support me financially in the most convoluted, complicated way possible, you go to USA Gundam Store. At USA Gundam Store, you can buy a gift card. They will send you an email with the gift card code. Then you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a DM on Twitter or Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy something on USA Gundam Store. And you can even make a request. Be like, hey, you should buy this model kit I saw on USA Gundam Store. Here's a gift card. You could do that if you wanted to. You don't have to, but you could. Again, consider it. Think about it. Hey, why not? Let's see. Wish list, USA Gundam Store. If you want to support me financially, but you don't want to spend any money, you could join my Discord. I said if you want to support me, but not financially. That's what I meant to say. I realized I said that wrong. Join my Discord. It's lovely. Couple video links for you to check out if you are so interested. Today, I put up a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club. It is my anime award show for 2025. Please watch that video. I think it's good. I talked about various ways, or fun categories and not so fun categories, like biggest surprise, and then also biggest disappointment. Worst trend, best return. That's the one I teased. Best return this year. A series, that had like a stunning return. I was very happy about it. And a couple joke categories as well. So please watch that. I enjoyed doing that. I was able to, because of that video, be able to rant about a thing I fucking hate. And so if you like my rants, there's a good rant in there. And then, of course, over on Kuma Baer, which is my weekly anime recommendation series, I'm going to be talking all this month about anime that you can watch for free with ads, which seems now accidentally timely considering that Crunchyroll is doing away with that tier for them, with some exceptions. But yeah, if you want to watch After War Gundam X, you can watch that on Tubi, and you can watch my 1 minute talking about that show. Gundam X, one of the most hated Gundam series, especially in Japan, which has a banger opener, a banger closer, and a lot of good Gundams. There's not a lot of Gundams, and the pacing is very slow until they find out that their episode order has been cut, and so they need to then speed up. But it's got some cool characters. It's a throwback. And as I say in the video, its biggest sin is it's not Gundam Wing, and it came out right after Gundam Wing. What are you going to do? They were working on it while Wing was being worked on. Like, what are you going to do? What I'm going to do is I'm going to drink some water, because I need to do that. And then I'm going to talk about 2 manga that I have been reading. And then I'll talk about an anime that I have been watching. An episode of anime that I'm watching. And in order to do all that, I need to dramatically transition back to the overhead camera, which we will do right now. All right, we've got an original manga we'll talk about second, and then a manga that is clearly based on a light novel called Unrivaled Isekai Gourmet, Rising to the Top. Banished to the mountains while living a relaxed camping life, I became the strongest. That's right. This fucking title has 2 colons in it. Unrivaled Isekai Gourmet, rising to the top, banished to the mountains while living a relaxed camping life, I became the strongest. It is another example of a show that, if this was a TV show, it could have won my most obviously a light novel. That's an unhealthy amount of colons, says Lord Grashington. I do have a category in my my awards for most obviously a light novel title, or most obviously adapted from a light novel. That's what the full title is. And that could win it, because that is fucking ridiculous. Our main character has been isekai'd. And he's living a slow life. I mean, that's the thing, right? That's what you think this is about. And it is about that, but it's also not about that. It's also an action series with like some drama and like a harem, and it's like, my biggest note of this particular thing is that it's very ecchi without being horny, particularly horny, but it's a little horny, is kind of horny, I guess I would say. But really, the thing about this series is that I don't know if it knows what it wants to be, because, like I said, it sets itself up in its title and its description of being a slow life. Oh, this guy got abandoned, but it's okay. because because like his camping skill, nobody knows what the fuck camping is in this Isekai world. So they're like, you're useless. Get the fuck out of here. And then it turns out it's incredibly overpowered because, hey, a monster showed up? Fine. I will gut that monster to make food out of it with my butchering skill. And when I eat that food, it will give me buffs. Because of course it will. Because I've overpowered. And the psychological effects of eating cooked food while camping is that food always tastes better on the grill. Like camping food tastes better than food cooked on a stove, right? In your house. That is a I am like adding more nuance than they are, but that is generally the effect, right? So our dude like he gets abandoned and left for dead as like basically the idea is that he is going to that he's going to be a sacrifice. Eventually, we don't know this at the beginning, but eventually a dragon's going to show up who made a covenant with this guy's father, and he's going to eat this kid and like another person to grow stronger. He doesn't fucking do that. Spoilers. That dragon gets fucking got. I was half expecting that dragon to become a dragon lady and hang out. And if you're like, Pat, that's so cliche, I must stress to you that there's already a tiger lady. There's already a tiger who shows up that is just like, hey, I'm smelling some good food and your mana seems pretty cool. What's up? I'm going to live here. Also, I can turn into a lady and I'm just going to hang out with you. That happens like almost immediately. So the fact that the dragon died, I was like, oh, I'm actually surprised. There's also, so there's that lady. There is a slave that also got left there who he frees from slavery. And so she's just fucking psyched to hang out. And then also her scars from being abused are healed. Hooray. Hooray. But it's very fucking cliche. Let's panel line this before we move on to the next kid. Yeah. And then also an elf shows up because apparently this dragon destroyed her village and she's been hunting that to kill it. And she's just like, well, I have nowhere to go. I guess I'll hang out here. Because they're gonna help him out. And where I left off on this, they're pretty much set to go to war. They're gonna go to war with his former family and deal with that. But here's the thing. It sounds like that's just an action romp with an overpowered main character. And it is. But also, there's like a beach episode or a beach chapter. There are a bunch of chapters of them all just eating food and being psyched about eating the food that he made. It is a series that doesn't... At first I was like, does this show or the series know what it wants to be? Is it trying to be a slow life stuff with some action, or is it trying to be an action series that like has some fun little nonsense episodes that don't mean anything, or chapters, I should say, it's episodes, sorry. But I honestly think that it's just trying to be both. It's trying to do both. It's trying to be like, oh, this is for people that just like the whatever happens shows, and also people that want the like cool action series. So it is trying to appeal to both audiences, and I think it's worse because of it. I think if it like found its lane, it would be better than it is. Because like I would like to. I mean, I watched campfire cooking in another world. Is that slow life where occasionally there's action, but there's not like drama. Like this show kind of this manga doesn't make light of the fact that someone was like horribly mistreated, but it also doesn't have like, it undercuts it, right? By being what it is. Like, come on, stay in your lane. Instead, it's trying to have the best of both worlds, and I think it's worse off because of it. I don't know. I'm gonna keep reading it, but I was pretty disappointed with how it's churning out from the first couple chapters, which did interest me. But I do like Banished. I think Banished is a good subgenre of stuff. Not all Banished need to be isekais, because we do have Unrivaled with a useless skill, Telekinesis, but it's max level. Yeah, let's talk about... Alright. I fucking can't wait to say this shit. Look, I think that Unrivaled with a useless skill, Telekinesis, but it's max level, is a pretty good manga. The art is really solid. I think the pacing is good. There's some characters I think are great. I think the plot choice they make is frustrating, but overall I like it. But the reason why I couldn't wait to talk to y'all about it tonight was because of the name of the main fucking character. The main character, the guy who is given the dud skill of telekinesis and is killed by his half brother and sister and his father and left for dead, who then trains under a goddess to learn telekinesis to its maximum so he can take revenge on the people that wronged him, is named Telekinesis. His last name is fucking Kinesis. He's Telekinesis, the telekinesis guy. His name is Telekinesis. And he can use telekinesis. Most of the time, he's only referred to as Elk, so it's not a big deal. But I have to know that. Yes, Lord Crash into alcoholic. Yes. It is. If you said telekinesis, telekinesis, you could prank Mo on The Simpsons. This could be a Bart name. It's just so fucking dumb. But also, I like this series. So yeah, our guy fucking he got murdered. Sucks to be him. He gets murdered. He's left there, but he doesn't die. Or he does die, but he gets resurrected, right? It's fair to say he does die, but a goddess shows up. The goddess Pipina. And she's like, look, you have so much determination. I'm going to give you a better skill. I'm going to give you like a top tier skill, and you can go back because I am interested in what kind of revenge you would do. Like, she is just like psyched about the idea of him having a revenge, like getting the revenge that he is so interested in achieving. Because she's like, I would love to help you with your revenge. And he's like, okay. I mean, no, thank you. I do not want a different skill. I want my skill. And he's like, what I would like is for you to allow me to train to be really good with this skill, because my revenge doesn't mean shit if it's just, oh, I have this skill that you didn't know about. He's like, no, I want to beat them with I want to kill them and get my revenge with telekinesis. So she's like, fine. You won't age a moment for the next 2,000 years. And he trains for 2,000 years. And hey, guess what? We don't fucking see that shit. They're just like, yeah, and he trains for 2,000 years. Anyway, now he's back on Earth. And he's reunited with a maid, the only person in his family that ever, in the household, that ever treated him right. He's reunited with Emma, so she's around. So you got a little bit of like, he's gonna, he's got her to look after and take care of. And he is unbelievably strong. Turns out he is, he does cool shit with telekinesis because he understands how it works. He can move giant objects and fuck around with people and move them. Oh, you're keeping your distance? No, you're not. He's gonna pull you towards them, or he's gonna pull himself towards other things. Like, he gets it. He understands how to use his powers. He's really overpowered, and he's out for revenge. And then it kind of loses me a bit, because his revenge involves him going to school, and his half-brother and half-sister are there. And so far, they don't know he's there. They haven't figured that part out. He's going to have to deal with that later. Right now, he's mostly concerned with this, like, school adventure thing. Like, there's a tournament arc immediately, and to prove how strong he is and how he's powerful, and he makes friends, which is nice. We love that for him, that he's making friends. But overall, it's a really fun premise. But the fact that it immediately becomes a school story with a tournament arc and, like, a villain of the week, I almost wish it was just like fucking have him go after his dad immediately or whatever. Like, I kind of wish that this series just got to the, like, revenge stuff, even if he was like a fucking edgelord. Like, just get to that part. It's not a harem. It's not going down that road, but it is, like, in some parts kind of fucking frustrating that they went this way. It is a fine enough read. Like I said, the art is really good. I think some of the characterizations are solid. I think some of the ideas they're going for are good. It's just that I was a little bummed that it was like it's just like pedestrian is too harsh of a word, but just like, oh, really, that's what we're doing with this. That's where we're going. Okay, I don't know. I think it's a strong idea, but execution is a little weak. But really, like I said, I have been reading it. I certainly don't hate it. I very much did want to talk to you about Telekinesis, because fuck you. You named that character Telekinesis. Go to hell. But also, bravo. Because who cares, man? Whatever. Now I'm going to talk to you about an anime episode. That's right, because I have been watching an anime that is based on a light novel, of which I have read the manga quite extensively. I have been reading it, under its name. Reincarnated is the daughter of the legendary hero and the Queen of Spirits. But the anime is called Dad is a Hero, Mom is a Spirit, I'm a Reincarnator. Which, yes, it does sound like the name of a one-person show. It's come see my one-man show at the Fridge Festival. Dad is a hero, Mom is a spirit, I'm a Reincarnator. It's just got that fucking vibe to it. I need some parts to go on here. Anyway, Raphalia's cousin, not step cousin, like half cousin, I don't know, or just cousin. Our main character Ellen's cousin Raphalia is probably been kidnapped because they think that she is the young girl alchemist, because Ellen is been able to show, hey, it's not me. But Raphalia, who got kidnapped, her maid shows a letter that Raphalia had been summoned to the castle by Gadiel, who is the crown prince. They've been corresponding. Gadiel is he's on the lookout for this alchemist, and he's around. And Raphalia is not with Gadiel, because they go and find Gadiel. Van, the companion, takes them there. And they run to Gadiel, and Gadiel's like, the person that's helping Gadiel look for this alchemist, Hume. And then Gadiel's like, he doesn't understand about this whole thing about a curse, but the royal family has been cursed and they can't interact with spirits, and but they can interact with Ellen because she is half spirit, but she is wary of them and does not particularly want to communicate with them or deal with that. And that Gadfel feels bad about that. He does not like that, which makes sense. He's a young guy. Also, a weird thing that's happening is that Hume, who works with the royal family, has a spirit pact with a rabbit spirit. And it's interesting that the rabbit spirit is okay with Hume interacting with the royals. Like, that's just a weird little thing. It must just be really into Hume that doesn't mind that. Anyway, that's just a weird little thing. And then, of course, this rabbit spirit is fucking stoked to meet Ellen. So fucking psyched about it. And that's when Hume, who seems to be pretty together and pretty smart, realizes, oh, okay, Ellen is the spirit princess. She's the one who's been making these medicines. Like, there is no alchemist. There is a spirit, a half spirit. So then Ellen's like, hey, look, somebody kidnapped my cousin. We got to figure this shit out. Now, I know it's not the king, because the king's whole deal is, and she tells him, like, hey, the king wants to make sure that myself and my dad, who's the hero, remember, he's the hero, stay in this kingdom. So kidnapping my cousin doesn't fucking make any sense. Like, that's not the chess move that he would be making. So it's probably somebody else. And then Gadiel is like upset that she accused her dad of manipulating him, or his dad of manipulating him. And it's like, no, yeah, sorry, you don't know your dad very well. That's literally his whole fucking MO. And it's like, and they're like, okay, well, hey, you're not going to make hey, just so you know, you're not going to make contact with the person that made those medicines and get them to support the royal family. Like, that's not going to happen. They're not that's just not going to happen. How about a new mission where you help me find my cousin? And if you do, I'll give you a sample of the medicine, knowing full well they're not going to be able to replicate it. But she's like, I'll give you a sample. Like, I'm not going to open up supply lines to the royal family, but I will give you a sample. So she's making a deal because she needs help. She recognizes she needs help. Again, reincarnated girl, isekai'd, smarter than she looks. Let's see. They kind of pool the resources, and they realize, like, hey, they agree to it. There's like, hey, there is a quarry, abandoned quarry in this region. That's where that makes the most sense logically based on that. Like I said, they had more information. I think Ellen could have solved this shit with just the spirits, but whatever. Despite the fact that they made a deal already, Gadiel is like, hey, if we rescue Rafalia, can you and I have a conversation? Because remember, he did witness her do some goddess shit, and he has been very enamored with her, and he's been visiting along with his younger brother, the kingdom their home to try to meet with her, and she's, one, she wasn't around, and then two, she does not fucking want to meet with him, and he will not take the hint. So he's now like just trying to barter. They teleport to the quarry because Van, the fox or the wolf spirit, says like, yep, hey, I found her. Ravel, the hero, easily handles the guards. And one thing that's kind of fun is that Savel who is the brother. He's the younger brother hero. We've watched him be like in a loveless marriage with the woman that just wanted to marry his brother, who cheated on him. We find out that we have found over time that the woman that he says he loves is still also enamored with the brother, because he's the hero of the country, the kingdom, and that's not going great. His daughter doesn't understand, like, has gone from being a commoner to being super important, or like feels super important as a noble, but she doesn't get treated with that respect, and she's always being compared to Ellen, who she doesn't even know because Ellen's kept her distance. But Ellen is like, we know that Ellen is like unbelievably powerful, so like it is a bummer. But we get to see Savile, the younger brother, rescue his daughter, defeats the leader of the bandits, like single-handedly, like saves the day. It is a nice little moment of him like stepping up and making shit happen. I was like, oh hell yeah, you got this, buddy. I need D1 and I need D1 3. And then later I'll need D1 1. Yeah, pull these out. Pull these out now. Also, Ellen, for the first time, gets to see her parents work together, because as Ravel is taking on the majority of the bandits, her mom shows up to kind of help him out, and we get a little bit of like, oh yeah, this is them working together to defeat like the demons, is like, and save the world, is how they fell in love. So it's like, oh yeah, you get to watch that. That's cute and fun. Let's see. Yeah. Also, they're very overpowered. It's cute, but they're like, the thing is that Ravel, the father, could have handled this all by himself. He didn't need anybody. And also Origin, the queen of all spirits, could have handled this no problem without it being a big deal. But everybody's working together because it's a family affair, which is fun. That's a fun bit of business. It was nice to see that in this episode. Everybody worked together for a common goal, which is rescuing the fucking annoying brat, who once again does not realize. Also, has not been called out for the fact that this happened because somebody realized that she has been writing letters to the prince, and it would not, if she hadn't been writing letters to the prince, who again, also those letters have been intercepted by the king and used to use against it for his machinations. It's one of those that we were all like, oh yeah, man. She is a bit of a dumbass. She's fucking up. But anyway, she shouldn't have been kidnapped, right? We can all agree. I thought this episode was fine. I had forgotten. It was nice to have some action, because I had forgotten how much of this series is a chess game between the king and an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old or whatever. I had forgotten how much of that is what we're at now. But still really fucking good. Still into it. I still like it. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm still having a good time. But it's, it's not. Hey, Dad is a hero, Mom is a spirit, I'm a reincarnator is not going to be on my top 10 list this year. I'll say that. Speaking of which, I am working on that. I got it. It comes out for everybody 2 weeks from today. 13 days for the people that support me on Patreon at the $5 or $10 tier. They'll get that a day. They'll get that a day early, so they'll know before other people know what the deal is. Reincarnator sounds like an 80s Stallone movie. Yes, being a reincarnator. Yeah. I wonder if this I bet this is an idea that I just haven't seen. I bet this is a light novel that just never got adapted. I wonder if there has been a series called Reincarnation, and like nation is all capital letters, and it's like a whole country of reincarnated people. There have been ideas that have floated that. Like I talked originally or earlier about the Isekai, or the girl that she just has home building, and how there are other people that have formed like a nation of the Nihon tribe. There are people that are all reincarnators, and she is wary of that because that's just going to lead to people attention that she does not want to have. But I wonder the island for reincarnated people. Yeah, but I wonder if there is like a whole isekai about just like a bunch of people who got, like reincarnation. Oh, it's a nation of that. There is an isekai series that I have been reading. I'm going to look up the name because I don't remember the name of it. I'm not ready to review it yet because there haven't been enough chapters. So I want to look that up. What is it called? It is called Our Country Takes in Unwanted Villainesses. Our girl got reincarnated, and she realizes that she is a character from a country that goes to war later in this Otome game, and she recognizes that they're heading for the reverse harem ending, where the girl ends up with all the guys, because it's a girl main character and it's a dating sim game. She's like, well, that's not gonna work. So she's going around taking all the people that got banished or whatever to fortify the defenses, because she's like, we are heading for the ending where I am like where my country is going to get destroyed, because she's a princess. She doesn't have any powers other than knowing like what happens in the game. And that's an interesting idea that, like I said, is similar to what I'm talking about, but not fully. It looks like that is a show where there are a book anyway, where there are a lot of reincarnated people, because the very first villainess, who is not a villainess that she recruits, has also been isekai. So, but doesn't know what the deal is. She doesn't know the plot of the game. All she knows is she got accused, and she's like, "What? I didn't do anything." All right. We finished the feat again. One thing that's interesting about this kit is it doesn't have the claws. It doesn't even have the option for the claws. If I remember correctly from Gecko, which is the manga, this kit is being, like, one of the reasons I had the big arms is this kit was like a damaged Gundam. So they just gave it arms from a different mobile suit, is my guess, or hands from a different mobile suit, but it doesn't have the claws that you would find. It does have the claw legs, but it doesn't have like the claw arms that you'll see in a lot of these kits, because again, they're demonic in nature. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? What do you got going on? I always love hearing from you about what you're up to, because it's fun. It's fun to talk to you about those things. So please let me know what you got going. As I start the right leg. Damn, we got a lot done on this fucking kit. We're already done with the chest and the arms and the head and both feet, and now we're working on the leg. I think I'm going to finish this kit on Saturday. I mean, there is a big weapon, and then we might not finish on Saturday, because there's a big weapon, and then we have to build the backpack, which is the big arms, as you can see there. It's got a little stand just for the backpack. So, but we are doing a lot more. We're getting a lot more done than I thought we would. Also, there are still plenty of fucking stickers. So yeah, I want to hear from you, friends. What do you got going on? What are you up to? What are you into? I always love hearing from you about those things. I've been plugging along with Power Wash Simulator 2. And Power Wash Simulator 2, a thing that happened in there is that I am now... I was like, you may have heard me say on a previous stream that one of the things that kind of bummed me out was there's just so many big jobs after big jobs after big jobs. And they do throw in like, hey, clean this car here and there, but there aren't like a lot of little jobs as the game continues. And I don't know, I like the variety of it. I like the idea of giving me something a little different. And they're not really doing that. And then I was like, oh, cool, a dump truck. That's fun. That'll be a small job. I didn't notice how much money I was going to get for doing this dump truck. It's fucking huge. It's like a dump truck for like mines or something. It's a ginormous truck. That it's one of those trucks that has like ladders, like stages of ladders on it. It's fucking cool. I love the idea of it, but I was a little. Oh, this is not a. Okay, this is. I need. Oh, A8. Okay, this is right. I just had it. I had to go in the wrong way. But I'm like kind of bummed because I was like, oh, this will be fun. This will be a bit of a different job. It's cool because it's a vehicle, but it's fucking huge. It's another giant job. I don't know. I was a little bummed by it. I just think they should throw in something a little smaller. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too selfish. Maybe I should just let the game wash over me and be excited of what I'm getting. Happy that Power Wash Simulator 2 came out. Yeah, it's from the rich guy that's mining the volcano. Yeah, I've done another job at that location before. I was just like, oh, all right, okay. It's like I just finished this big dumb house. That house that's built with parts from an a plane is one of the dumbest things we've cleaned. I think it's kind of neat because it's really inventive. But I was just like, this is very stupid that this house exists like this with its many decks. I was like, that's very silly. I don't know. I'm not trying to. Please do not think that I am talking shit about the game. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a great time with it. We'll be looking at it a week from tomorrow. We'll be checking it again, which might be the last stream for a while. But I do want to do I haven't done a stream in Power Simulator 2 where I have used the Tri Sprayer. So I do want to do a stream with that because now I have that. And so we can look at some, like, I want to go and look at the disco, the roller disco. I want to look at a few things here and there and show off a few levels that I really think are neat for folks that don't play it. Because I think that would be fun. And then I will probably put it down until the DLC comes out, like any DLC that comes out. And then we'll look at it again, probably. And then, of course, as I said, I've done a bunch of stuff this weekend getting ready for Christmas. I was out and about getting a lot of things done. This is supposed to be D1-2. Did I pull out D1-2? Okay, that's D1-2. But yeah, I had, my back was bothering me on Sunday. I took it easy. I did some outdoor stuff that luckily didn't really hurt too much. And then I watched some wrestling with some friends, which was fun. Always a good time. That was B2, and then I need B32. But yeah, I had a good time with that. And then I'm just like, I went and got Christmas cards today because I needed those. So now I have some Christmas cards ready to send out when the time comes. I'm going to the post office with my mom tomorrow to mail out a bunch of stuff, including a joint present that we're sending out to my cousin. So I'm going with her to the post office. I'm going to be I'm going to carry all the stuff for her, make her life a lot easier. And I'm glad, there's some times where I'm just glad, like setting up the Christmas tree and having to move stuff around the house. And we had garland that we had to set up inside the house today. So some real garland. And so I was able to set that up, and my folks being able to avoid having to get on ladders of any kind just makes me happy that I'm able to do that, even if I'm like I said, right now towards the end of the stream my back is starting to bother me. I'm gonna take 2 leave, and that's just because I'm if I streamed I would be like this But because the height of the chair and height of the table, like I'm leaning down, I'm leaning over constantly to do these streams, which is not a fucking problem generally. Generally, 2 hours like this is no sweat, no problem at all. But right now, like my lower back is agitated with me and the work I've been doing, and lifting and all kinds of other stuff, and bend over to pick stuff up and all that. So my body is mad at me, and so 2 hours like this is now bad, whereas other times not as bad. All right, so this is gonna go like this. Lashford says, I spent my Sunday watching a ton of Arcade Pit as they did a marathon stream of 10 of them for their 10-year anniversary. That's right. I did watch some of that. I watched Jeff and Sebma, but I did not watch a lot of it. I certainly didn't watch all of it. Just chilling and playing retro games. Hell yeah, love that. Someone ported a handful of NES games to SNES with better music and stuff, and they added a map to Metroid, which might be the way I play through that game. Okay, yeah. I could see that. I could see that being beneficial. Like porting games way after the fact is kind of cool. That's kind of fun. All right, sure. Hell yeah. I have a negative for the types of jobs in the game. It's that there are not really any treehouse level huge jobs in the game. Even the biggest level in Power Simulator 2 are not that long to do, so it felt like they were a bit easier to replay when I missed an achievement. So yeah, Lord Crashton, I never go for achievements. I accidentally got one in the Alice in Wonderland one because I was just like, oh, let me climb up this ladder. And then I dinged an achievement. I've never gone for achievements in that game. If I get them, it's by accident. I just like to wash the way I want to wash. But I don't know. I think the jobs are pretty big, in my opinion. I think they're pretty big. They might not be approaching the treehouse level, but there are a lot of like detailed big maps, in my opinion. And I would say there are not enough small jobs. Like there aren't enough jobs that are like, here's a weird shack, power wash it. Okay, cool. Let's move on. I don't know. I don't think there's enough variety. There are too many like jobs that are just like, here's this thing, get it done. I don't know. So yeah, I can understand what you're saying. Let's see. So tomorrow, playing a new video game. Excited for that. Let's do one last sticker for tonight. And then Thursday, once again, reminder, I'm taking Thursday off, so I will not be streaming on Thursday. You can watch Jeff Gersman talk over the Game Awards. I know he's doing it. I'm sure Giant Bomb is doing it. Nextlander isn't. I believe they will be in their Discord chat talking, if that's how you would rather approach that. But I believe they are not going to be live streaming that. So yeah, there are ways. I will not be in chat for Jeff's stream on Thursday because I don't care about the Game Awards stuff. I will look at the winners and we'll talk about them. And if any like dumb bullshit happens, we'll talk about like the games that got announced or whatever on Saturday. So there will be talk of the Game Awards on Saturday, but I'm not going to stream during it. That's just not what I want to do. I have not decided what I'm doing Thursday night. I don't know. And then also, I got to look this up. When is Collision this week? December schedule is real messed up for AEW Collision. If you like AEW and you don't watch Collision, I understand. A lot of great matches this past Saturday. Also, Eddie Kingston's promo whipped fucking ass. Obviously, I'm biased because I love Eddie. All right, so this will be the 13th, December 13th. Collision is at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. So I guess I'm not watching Collision live because I have something at 5 on Saturday, and then I have the stream at 9. So even the 7:30, because it's like If it's 8, then it's 9, 10, 11. It's 3 hours later for the West Coast. So the West Coast will be at 7:30. So I could watch like 2.5 hours of it before my stream. Yeah, Lord Crashington. Collision's going to be at 4:30. Now, they'll say because it's sports, right? They will say this Saturday they're doing that because TNT wants to show sports. And that might be true. But it's also true that John Cena's last wrestling match is on Saturday. And I think they're expecting people to tune in for that. Not me, but some people will. So I think they're just trying to get it away from that. But also there's probably TNT loves to preempt Collision for sports that are going to get more people and more money. It's your only chance. Yes, it's only going to happen that one time. But it is an event and people will be watching. So yeah, I guess I'll just watch Collision on my own on Sunday. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight's stream. I'm going to take a couple of leave and also leave. Ha ha ha. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. What's going to happen now is we're going to go on a raid. We're going to go hang out with some people doing some cool things. It's a Monday. But there is no Merry Monday tonight. So we cannot raid Mary Kish. We would love to, but we cannot. We cannot do what we cannot do. As Judd says, we always end with a raid. Mary's getting ready to go on a trip. She's off this week. Yeah. Cool. Hell yeah. Good for her. We did see Mary over the weekend for the podcast recording. So we did catch her there. Jordan streaming. Ray FK streaming Stardew Valley. We have not seen Jordan in quite some time. Jordan does not stream that much these days, as I think the day job is just a lot. So we're gonna go raid Jordan, hang out with Ray FK. It's been a hot minute. I don't know how long he's gonna be streaming. But we'll go hang out with him. He's been there for an hour and a half. I want to thank you so much for joining me tomorrow night. I'll be playing a brand new video game called Keep the Heroes Out. I received a code for it. I'll be playing Keep the Heroes Out tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. Please come back for that, and I'll see you after that on Saturday. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Let's go raid right now. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.